So hello guys. So as we have discussed in the last video with the very basics. So in this video we will go into some deep dive about the things. I think which things are not clear in part 1. So we are quickly recover those things. Okay. So in this we have first of all we have this shortcut for PSVM. This stands for public static void main. Main is the function which our program look for first of all for our program first of all looks for this main function in the memory. Okay, so getting again refreshing the concepts that we have covered in first video. So first of all, the thing is that computer is always understands the things in binary. For example, computer only understands the things that is 0 and 1. Okay, so what actually the things that are going in the process which is going behind is like if we write int of a is equal to 1. So what our computer will do, it will convert this 1 into 0 and 1. Okay, so let us suppose it convert this into 0 1 0. Okay, this is the value which computer converts. So everything in the computer is done in the form of 0 and 1s. I just want to give you the the basic overview, like you will create an image that how things are actually working in our system. For example, if I write a string b which has a no if we are taking a second data type character c has a value of a. So actually this a will take value from the ASCII value. From the ASCII value, it will take the corresponding value which is in the form of integer. For example, let us suppose it has a value of 65. So this 65 will convert into 0611, whatever be the number. So I think you are now getting the idea that how our computer understand the things we are doing. Okay. So there are the values are assigned. For example, if we are taking boolean of d which is a true. So our computer will understand it as a 1 or 0. Like, okay. So what this thing helps us is that whenever we are doing, the in our RAM, in our random access memory, this integer will hold a memory of 8 bits. Like this 10 will, this one value hold this address of 8 bytes. Okay, in our memory, in the random access memory. So these things are actually working in this way. For example, if we do integer of a and b, like if we have to sum some values, like if I have to add two numbers, like 2 plus 3. Okay, so this thing actually happens is like 2 plus 3 converts the value into 5. Okay, and this 5 will store as a value like whatever it will become. This will become, I think, 100 or something like that. It's 200. It's a binary form. I will explain how this thing actually works. It works like this 2 is multiplied with 2 raised to power 0. Okay, so I will explain the operators as well. The next topic is our operators. Okay, so let us leave these things for now. We will cover this in the upcoming 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so this value comes out to be 5, and it will store the address 8 bits with the corresponding value. So the next question is how this value is generated. Okay, so there is a concept called that binary systems and decimal systems. The numbers which we have like base of 10, in which we have values from 0 to 9, is known as a decimal number system. So, and the number which have only two values, that is a binary number system. which has value 0 and 1 only. Okay, so this binary number is for computers to understand. I will give you the actual true picture that how these things are actually working in the background. Okay, so what our do is when we are adding or subtracting. So how computers subtract the things, like if we have I is equal to 3 minus 2, computers are subtracting from addition. If you have ever studied about one's complement or two's complement, I will give you the links that how these things are working. So you have over take the overview that how actually computer works. For this understanding, the programming will become little bit easy. You are getting the concept that how things are actually working. What is the process which is actually working behind the you know system, that how is the things working. So next we the topic we have operators. So there are a lot types of operator, like we have addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication, and we have this percentage operator. I will explain what these things are doing, and then we have exponent. Sorry, we have the exponent operator, and then we have like these left operators and right operators. There are also combination of operators that we are using. I will quickly give you the details very fastly. Like if plus minus and these two things are already, I think, you cleared for everyone how the number is addition and subtract. This is a divide operation. For example, if we have this operator divide, and we have to divide 6 by 2. So this value comes out to be for div is equal to 3. Why? This is the value of quotient. Like if I have to display, as we have discussed display, I have to do this thing. So let's see in the our console what we have get. We get this value to be okay. Oh, check this value. If this is a part 2, then you are running this file, else this is running in the basics one. Okay, so let us see, this is we have 3. Okay, this is because we have this due to the we have division. Like if we are doing with long division method, then 2 has a coefficient of 3. It means 2 is when 2 times 2 multiply 3 times is equal to 6. Okay, now we have for remainder. For remainder we have 6 if modulo 3, then it will give a remainder of 0 because it is a fully divisible entity. So if okay, so if we do this remainder, so this is a fully divisible entity. So we got the remainder as 0 because this is, if we are taking such values, if we are not divisible, then we will get a remainder of 1 because 5 is when divided by 1 it will give the remainder, and we have the value of 1. Okay, is the value of remainder. Okay, so now we have this 4 concept, and this is operator of exponent. Like how many times? This is not a power operator. Is we have 2 to the power 3, and we have the output 2 to the power 3 is equal to 8. So here we have 8 as our output, as we see. So no. Oh, sorry. This is a not this is a not operator. No. This is not a not operator. Let me check once. Actually, this operator is not used too much in programming. So we have XOR. This is XOR. This means is a set operand but not both. Okay. Okay. XOR. This is a for XOR. So these gates we will cover later on. Okay. So now we have left shift. and a right shift operator. What this will do? So the left shift operator, ठीक है, this will multiply the value by 2. For example, if we are covering this left shift operator, okay, so just wait a minute, guys. I used the wrong parameters. Ah, perfect. So this means left shift operator. So we are shifting the value, one value to the left. For example, if we have the value of 0 and 1, uh, 1 and 0. So what this operator will do, it will shift this operator to one more precise value. Okay. So this will increase the value multiply by 2. If I have 4 here and I will shift 1, it will multiply by 2. It will give 8. Perfect. And for the right, it is totally opposite. This is the right shift. It will divide it by 2. So if I am getting the sum, I will get the sum as 2. Okay. So this is something. Uh, the operation is reverse. Like if we have 100, it will shift one bit from, it will become 101. Okay. So this one will shift to the middle. Okay. So the most outside bit always shift moves outwards. So these are the few operators, and also we have some other operators which we will use in the later video. So right now we have covered this all things. Okay. So now we are dealing with loops. What are loops? Different loops in Java. Okay. So what are the use of loops basically? But if I have a number which is 0, I have a number which value is 0, and someone wants to print a series of number from 0 to 10, let's say. How we will print these types of numbers? So what we do, we will tell our computer, hey computer, there is a for loop. There is three types of loop. First I will tell you what these are. There is a for loop. Okay, so there is a while loop. So there is a do while loop. Do while loop. So we tell computer, hey computer, you have to print number from 0 to 10. I will also cover these two operators which are looking now weird nowadays for you. So okay, I will cover. So and this. Okay. So there are other two types of operators, which is greater than, equal to, less than equal to, and equal to. Let us suppose if I say we have int age. So someone's age is 21. Okay. So these are conditional conditions. Like if I say if a person is 21 years old, then he is eligible for vote. So he is eligible to vote in an election. Okay. So what we say, if there is if else's, if these are also known as conditional statements, conditions. Conditions means there are some terms and conditions that if this thing is true, then we will have to do something else, we will not do. So we say that if a person's age is greater than 21, okay, it means he will vote. So there is thing called, if this situation is true, if I do this thing 20, it will not execute in this scope. Our program will not go in this scope, which is in blue. It will check this condition and move to line number 35 after that. So there is a scope of this. Ki, hey, if this condition is true, then the instructions written within this block you have to execute these instructions. Okay. So there are three types. Like if we say if the age is greater than or equal to 2, both conditions. Okay. So we can, a person will vote. Else, if age is equal to, this is comparison. I will say if a person's age is equal to, double equal to is means we are comparing the value. If the given age is equal to 32, then a person is a senior citizen. Okay, perfect. So there are if conditions, there is a else if. Else if means if these conditions fail, you have to check this condition. If this condition fails, else. Okay, so you will say person is not eligible for vote. Not eligible to vote. Perfect. So in this we have covered the conditions, the conditional operators. Okay. After that we will cover the loops. So we have greater than or equal to. Like if age is smaller than or less than 21. This is a sign of smaller than. Okay. So we will say if age is smaller than, person is not adult. He's not adult. He's a children or kid. Okay. So these are conditions, plus we have the condition statement and conditional operators. We have covered these operators, plus we have covered these conditional operators. Okay, fine. Now we are getting to for loop. And one more, there are two types of operators also, which are increment operators. So we have j plus plus, like that. So we have plus plus j. So we have j minus minus, and we have minus minus j. What these things? What the heck these are? So in this state, we are saying that we have to increment the value of variable z, j by 1. So this condition actually means we have j is equal to j plus 1. This means that now okay, fine, we have a variable j having value 2, 3. So when we are using the value next time for j, this value will increment automatically if we do j plus plus. So next time when we comes to this operator, we get the value of 4. So this operator is known as increment operator. Okay. So plus plus j means it will first increment, then use this value. For example, if j in the previous, if I will execute after this situation, then it will become 4. J first of all we have j is equal to 3. Then we use this situation. output we have is 4. After line number 30, we have output of j is equal to 4. And if we have this condition, then the output of j is equal to output of j is equal to 5. Okay, so what we'll do, 4 comes to the value, it will first increment, it will set the operator that hey, increase the value, it will increase the value as 5. So now j becomes 5. So if we are using j in the line number 34, let us suppose, so we have j is equal to, okay, similarly this is working with minus operators. Okay, so now we are come to for loops. So today we will cover, I think for about, I will cover from what is arrays and what are strings. I will cover up to this today. Like okay, so later the next part we will cover in the next videos. So until this point, you have totally familiar with increment operators, conditions, complete conditional statements. Okay, so now we are doing with loops, and after that we have arrays and strings. Okay, this we will cover, and classes and objects. These things are totally abstract for now. That what the heck was this public study word meant, and the other things. Okay, so we have for loop. So for loop is like three things are doing at a single line: one, two, and three. So our compiler work in Java from this thing to this thing, from semicolon to semicolon. So for example, it will, there are few keywords in Java too that I think I will left. So there are few keywords that we cannot use for our working condition. Like if I am using integer of 4 is equal to 6, for example. So you will see this will give an error that 4 statement cannot be completed without. Okay, so these things which are in yellow, we cannot use these values. I can use any value, like we have angry, yeah, or we have John. But there are few keywords that we cannot use. For example, I cannot use out. Uh, out variable is never okay. We can use out as well. Okay, cool, no problem. We cannot use extends. Extends is a keyword, so we cannot use. Class is a keyword. Class we cannot use. So such kind of things. So we have for loop. For loop we have from the starting index, from where this index starts. Like if I have to print from 1 to 10 numbers. So in the first condition, we will tell our system that hey, you have to start from 1 and you have to go till 10, and you have to these things, increment this value of j one by one. So how these things actually works, I will show you. First of all, this situation runs. So there is a hack in this. Then second operation works the ending of the loop, the end point, where up to which point we have to run our loop. Like for this we have this, and then third step we have this. This step will happen And after this step, the increment will done. So this is the flow of for loop. It might be confusing that these things are written like this, but flow is working not in similar way. So this is the hack. For loop works like this. First of all, it will run this condition. It will run this condition for more clearance. And in the third part, we have this print statement. Then this is one, two, three, and four. Okay. So if I will run, I will comment out this. I will tell you about these comments also. What that, what I am doing all the time. This commenting these things. This is a very important thing in your code for documentation and other things. If a person has to understand your code, you have to comment out sometimes, or you have to comment out some parts so that you will see actually where actually the things lags. So in this, you know, s- these things are printed, and these things are printed in another line because we are using print ln. Ln means print this word and takes the cursor to the next line. Okay, so if we remove this ln and we add some space, I will also tell you what this hack is doing right now. So now we have run this program. So this will come in a horizontal way. Okay, so I will tell my compiler, hey compiler, print this j, the value of j. First of all, the value of j is 0. It will print, it will increment. In the second loop, our value becomes 2 because it increments the value after use. Then it will increment up to 10, and this will add some space. Like if we remove this thing, or I will add like as, so it will print like 1 as, 2 as, 3 as, 4 as. This is the space. Okay, totally fine. If I am doing nothing, then it will print with you know yeah, in this way, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so this is the for loop. So next we have while loop. While loop works same. In this line is this condition. This condition comes in these brackets, and we have to tell first of all similar way, like we have j is equal to 1. So in this line comes first, then we have while, then we have scope, and then we will increment j. So I will show you this thing works similarly. So in this flow of while, first of all we increment, secondly set the condition endpoint. No, sorry, initialize, and third print out statement are okay. This is not particularly the printout. This things is accordingly what you want. Like if you want to add some number, so you will add. If we have another variable int a is equal to 0, so I will say if j is less than, then you can increment the value of a. So this a will increment up to this condition breaks. Like a will become 9. because we are starting from zero and we have to work until 10. Okay, so this is fourth step is incremented. So I think these things are clear. Okay, so let's hold and we will upload the. We'll cover this next things in the next videos because this will become too long. So okay, thank you guys. Keep watching. We will cover these all things this week. So we have 5 of May today, and we will hopefully end this the basics up to 8 or 9. Thank you.